Morning guys, so it's almost 10 a.m. right now. I'm super dialed in. I got up around 6 a.m. or so, did my routine, been super dialed, super excited for the day. It's still raining out here, as you guys can see, but I enjoy it. I might later on go get some coffee actually. I know you guys thought I would never say that, but I might just mix it up and just get one and treat myself for a little bit. And for me, that's like cheating. I'm a big believer in you have to like discipline and like knowing discipline and being able to stay focused. That's a skill you have to develop. So many people don't want to stay focused and it's tough on their mind, and everyone deals with that. And so it's a skill and a practice and a level of discipline you have to develop. But with that being said, so we'll see if I end up doing that. I've been spending all morning, you guys, working on this sales script for you guys. I say that I'm done, and then I make iterations, and then I say I'm done, and then I go back because I want it to be just so jam-packed of knowledge for you guys. And I want to have every type of business in there and every type of like different way that conversation could go. I want you guys to have that in there, and I really want this to be like the base point for a lot of you guys to be able to understand how to actually conduct and control a sales call. So I'll kind of show you guys what it looks like. So here's the beginning. I know I showed you guys a few times about the additions I've made, and you guys can see, so like word choices to remember, the pre-call ritual, you know, how to replace words with. Tonality and word choice is so important. It's all about how you frame and how you phrase things. You can make something that doesn't look very good look really good just through the way you frame it and through the word choice that you're using. So then on here we have all these things. So I go over what I added to is the difference between a discovery call and a sales and a closing call. All those things. So like, you know, a discovery call is an if call, a closing call is a how call, meaning basically a discovery call is if we can help you, deciding if we can help you and get the results that they want. And then a how call is how we will help them, etc. And then how to transition into that pitch regardless, anything like that. So super jam-packed in this for you guys. It's fun, and that reminds me of like the early days for myself as well. So it's been really fun. And then, you know, all the intros in here, whatever. And so then it's like giving different ways, like if it's a discovery call, do this or this, blah blah blah. So all that kind of stuff. So that will be dropped for you guys very, very soon. I'm giving it away for free, no big deal. I want you guys to have it, and it's a great way to learn and go from. And once you guys over time get more creative and more comfortable, then you can start getting creative with the script. Early on, the script is just super important for you guys to be able to have a baseline to go off of. But with that being said, it's almost 10. I have a call at 10. I might go grab this coffee before or after, I don't know, but I will get back with you guys in a few minutes, all right? All right, guys, so it's like almost 10 a.m. right now. It's like 9:55. I'm going to take the shots really quick before I hop on the call. I'm going to go probably get the coffee after the call. I'll bring you guys along with me for the call as well, let you guys kind of get inside it. It's with the men's fitness brand going to market. The website's almost done, so I'm going to show them all that stuff. This one is the most brutal one. This one, I'm telling you guys, health is really wealth, all right? Might not feel good all the time to take these things, but none of this is worth it if you're not healthy. None of it is. Your tongue burns after. Ooh. All right, guys, I'm glad you guys got to see me take those shots. And I want to say something before I hop on the call too, okay? So who you guys hire is so important, because think of it like this, okay? So let's say you hire someone to help with some administrative stuff, and after this, I'll show you guys kind of like the hierarchy of what to delegate out in terms of what you should do first versus last. But if you hire somebody, right, and then if they make a mistake, for example, it's one of two things. It's either a people problem or a systems problem, right? It's literally only one of those two things. And so you ideally want it to be a systems problem because that's a little bit more easy to replace. But with that being said, though, let's say it's a people problem, right? So you give someone instructions of task what to do, and then depending on what scale your company's at, the reality is that if you give them instructions, you tell them what to do, they can't execute on it. Now you are paying for 3 different touch points, right? You're paying for them to tell, you're paying the time. I'm going to say paying, I mean the time to explain it to them, time for them to go to do it, and then the time for you have to either correct them or go back and do it yourself on your own, right? And so it's so imperative early on to be so careful about who you hire. One bad apple can ruin the whole bunch, right? So you have to be super particular about who you're bringing on the team, especially in the earlier days. And so just to reiterate that, you guys, it's either one of two things. It's a people problem or a systems problem, right? And so oftentimes if you're not explaining it properly, then it's not a people problem, right? You need to figure out who's worth investing to explain that to, and who's worth to help grow. And that goes back to, as an entrepreneur, you're going to start realizing that most of your time and effort is going to literally go to just building people, developing systems and people, and betting on people, if you will, right? That's what's going to help you, right? You can get to like $1 million in revenue by yourself, but if you want to do anything past that, you're going to need good people around you, because there's only many hours in the day, and there's only so much you can do, right? And I'm a big believer in hiring the right people and trusting those people to do the right thing, and letting them be themselves. But at the same time, there has to be this structure and this outline of what to do, and they can't just go in blind. And so one bad apple can ruin the whole bunch from a culture standpoint, but also from just a time and effort perspective, right? So if you bring somebody on, right? Let's say you bring somebody on and they just aren't doing well. You paid them to do it, to explain to them. You paid them to do it, and then now you're paying to either reteach them, go back and correct their mistake, or have them go back and correct the mistake, right? So it's very costly to not have good people and not have good systems in place and directions for people. That's why you have a handbook and a directions manual and an onboarding process for people, and to give them clear outlines. And you need to have, what I like to say, especially with my warehouse company, is you have to be able to explain it to a 5-year-old. There has to be able to have your little brother, your little sister, your niece, your nephew, whatever it is, come in, and you have to be able to have them come in and be able to know exactly what to do within one day, and have it all on paper, and where they can go, and it doesn't need high level training per se. And that's just more particular to my warehouse company. But with that being said, though, it needs to be all on paper, and there needs to be this true level of idea that it can be understood by anybody of any skill level, of any reading level, etc. Right? So meaning that you need to be able to know how to talk to people. And that goes back to what I said yesterday about being able to understand who you're dealing with. Everyone is a little bit different, and you have to deal with every employee, every client, every person a little bit differently. But you need to have this overall general idea as well. All right. So, all right, guys, it's 10 a.m. right now. I'm going to hop in this call, and I'll bring you guys along with me. All right.
And it's like, how do we get their mindset shifted where, you want to be a bigger fish in a smaller pond? Like you'll actually be someone to us. Whereas like with a Gymshark, they don't know your name. Like, you're just some random person. They got tens of thousands of people pushing that product. So I don't know how we can go about that.
Yeah, I have two ideas more on like the back end side, and not more so getting in contact with them, but just the idea of who to go after. I think we can even go after guys who are in that realm of like levels of influencers. I think that we can even go after guys that aren't there yet, that they aren't at the Young LA, Gymshark, whatever thing, and kind of take bets on people and kind of say, hey, maybe we go up even more of a volume game with that, and like take the bets on the right guys. There's plenty of those, the Gymshark, plenty of the Young LA guys who are in that space, but I think it's becoming almost a little bit taboo even to have those. I think it's just so saturated, the whole like use my code, and there's so many out there. So I think it'd be cool if we, and I guess I think we can take some time. We're all creative and kind of coming up with something to maybe be different than a code. I'm still trying to figure out how we can do it, but I think that would be interesting. And ideas came to my head as well for anything ads related. What I think would be interesting too is basically, instead of a code, is going from letting like creators create their own ads, and like whatever, we would give them some skeleton of a creative, what message we want relayed, and then they would create the ad. And then we would, the shop now link, the call to action link would be an affiliate link for them. And we would be able to track, however much revenue comes in from their ad. And I think that would be really interesting, like let them have some creative freedom of like any type of content that they want to make. We run ads on that. Obviously we have like our bigger picture targeting ads where it's talking more about benefits and the problems that we're solving and talking about the message, and then more like the retargeting people that are like have already interacted with the ads. Those ads could be like one of those influencers like, hey, just make us a video. You don't even need to post the video yourself. And sure they can, that's a different channel of it, if you will, but like just for this in terms of this context, it's like we could do something where it's just like be creative, give us a minute long video, we run ads on that particular video, and whatever they make from that is what their cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm down for that. I think that sounds great. I like the idea of having, and it's not like having them do the work for us, but it is in a way. Like they have, and the more people we get doing that, the more ads we have, and
you know what it does too? It does too is that it's a few things. One, nowadays I'm seeing this huge trend in ads where that type of content is what gets people to stop scrolling, especially if it's somewhat of a familiar face, and then secondly, it's not as much of this forced like, hey, post it on your story, whatever. It's like, and use the code. It's like a little bit more of a creative way. They get to do their own thing with it, make a kind of a shorter form video. And then it's just a simple way to track conversions from that. And, it's a little bit more of a newer way of doing the code, if you will, you know. All right, guys, so I just left the bank. I had to get some cash, and then I'm heading to Bravo Toast right now. I'm going to get a coffee, which is, like I said earlier, like the first time in probably 6 months I've had a coffee. I literally haven't had coffee for like 6 months or so. As you guys can probably tell, anything I do at 110%. And there's no in between, there's no balance for me. And so when I was drinking coffee, I was having a ton of espresso, and I was having like 6 to 10 shots a day, and I wasn't feeling good after a while. All right, guys, so I got the coffee. Let's give it a swig. Definitely tastes like it used to. Because when I was drinking coffee, I wasn't even having like iced coffee like this. I was just having espresso. So first time having an iced coffee like this, probably in over a year, if not more, dude. It's been a long time since I've had a vanilla coffee like this. And I'm a big believer in like no sugar in the morning. And the reality is too, is that if you are even just gonna have like a straight espresso in the morning, you got to give yourself at least an hour. You need to let your body, like, because when you wake up, your body releases natural adrenaline already. And when you have coffee, it like messes with that cycle. So if you do drink coffee in the morning, you really want to wait at least an hour, bare minimum an hour, to make sure that like your body's waking up on its own. And then you can have the coffee. It's really important to do that. And so it goes back with this idea of like, because I was thinking when I got the coffee, I said, you know, what's the big deal of having like the vanilla in the morning, whatever. It's already like it's almost noon right now, actually, though the rain's messing with my timing. But I think like, you know, what's the big deal? Everyone has the coffee in the morning like this. And I realized, well, that's the issue, Billy. You don't ever want to do what everyone else is doing, right? And my point being with that is, you guys, is literally when someone tells you, oh, everyone's doing this, you want to do the exact opposite. Let's take like crypto or some certain investment type of things, like crypto, for example. When your Uber driver, or for example, or someone's talking about crypto like that, like some commercial like, you know, retail guy, like just some people on the random street, whatever, talking about crypto, that's when you know it's too late. If everyone's talking about it and it's on the news and it's normalized, that's when it's way too late. And that's actually when you want to pull out, right? Because things are cyclical and it's going to start dipping, right? So my point being though is like, if things get normalized to that extent and it's becoming that big and that normal, you want to do the exact opposite of what everyone else is doing. That's with life too. It's like most people go get the job, the 9 to 5 though, whatever, and you want to do the exact opposite of that. You literally want to, most people say have balance, go out with your friends, have balance, whatever. You literally want to just do the opposite of whatever someone's telling you in that sense. And so that just goes off that idea of like the coffee. It's like you want to do probably the exact opposite of what everyone's telling you. That's just the reality of it, you guys. Is for the most part, people do not have good advice to give you, and no one's you. Literally no one is you. And so you have to keep in mind the fact that like no one knows your experience, no one sees it the way you do, no one knows your vision the way you do. So if someone's going in there and telling you guys what to do, don't do this, don't do that, say, I don't care, thank you for the opinion, but that's your opinion, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Because you have to believe and be so bought into your vision, and no one else can get in the way of that, and no family, no friends, no anybody can get in between you and your vision. And so you guys gotta get really good at knowing like who to take advice from, who not to take advice from. And not only that, but you got to get also really good at just the idea of like knowing when, like I said last night, knowing when to say no, but not only knowing when to say no, knowing when to listen, when to speak, when to learn, you should always be learning, but when, you know, how to do each one, right? So it's just important things to keep in mind. But to finish it off, to point off, it's like you don't want to do what everyone else is doing. If everyone else is doing it, you honestly should do the exact opposite. It's like you always want to be different, you want to stand out for the right things. Obviously it has to be the right things, but you never want to do exactly what everyone else is doing. You honestly want to do the exact opposite. So with that being said, you guys, I'm getting home right now. I'm gonna head in. It's almost noon. Like I said, I have to go in and film some content of like my daily raw talk thing, and then I'm going to go to the gym. So I will see you guys in a little bit. All right guys, so I just finished up recording a little bit. I also figured out the issue that was going on with the storage in my phone. I guess the Google Drive on my phone was taking up a ton of storage, so now I've just been doing it like airdropping to my laptop, uploading to my laptop. So that solved a little bit. I just finished recording that content too. Today I did an idea on nothing changes if nothing changes, and having the humility to understand that if you know that you need to make a change and you're expecting different results, something has to change in order to find different results, right? So nothing in your life is going to change if you don't make changes. And so there's two really cool sayings that I like. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I'll say that one more time. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because if you want to improve your output, you have to improve your input, right? If you have to improve yourself and what you're putting in order to get a better output. Secondly is a lot of people expect an above average life, above average income, above average spouse, above average anything, while being a below average person. It just doesn't work like that. And then also your income and your self-growth and who you are as a person are directly related. They're directly related, whether you want to admit that or not, or understand that or not. You know, your income and who you are as a person is directly related, and you have to understand that. And it's this idea of becoming obsessed with improving who you are as a person, and that's what's really gonna move the needle for you. So I'm about to leave for the gym right now. I'm waiting for this content to upload as well on my laptop, but I'm just gonna leave my laptop open. Gonna grab a fit for the gym here. That coffee's got me a little going a little bit, but I need to grab some sweats, I think. I think they're in the laundry room. But yeah, I want to talk about something to you guys too about the idea of getting hated on, okay? And so if people are not calling your idea crazy, if your old friends are not saying, oh, that guy's nuts, that guy's crazy, the idea isn't big enough, okay? It's simply not big enough. And you have to remember, hate will only come from below. No one doing better than you is ever going to hate on you. And so that's two perspectives, okay? One is you know that if you ever receive that, that's how you know how to handle it. But two, if you go out of your way to hate on somebody else, I strongly challenge and encourage you to take a step back and say, why am I doing this right now? And be able to then say, what do I need to change about my life to be able, in order to perceive that in a better, more positive way, right? That's a huge part of it, you guys, is if you ever get to this point where you start thinking and want to hate on somebody else, ask yourself, pause. And that's where I go back to this idea of becoming the observer of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts, just you are observing your thoughts, right? And so when you are the observer of your thoughts, you're able to ask yourself honestly and humbly with humility and be able to say, why am I going to hate on this person right now, right? And is it because they're doing better? Is it because they have more money? Is it because they're doing something that I've attached a negative belief towards? Whatever that is, right? And so I want to remind you guys to remember that hate will only come from below. And if people are not hating on your ideas or calling them crazy, they're not big enough. They're just simply not big enough because it doesn't threaten people. And most people are projecting onto you what they wish that they could do. And you have to become obsessed with that idea because it's the only way that you're going to survive people in your ear yapping, whatever, right? You have to understand that. So that being said, you guys, hate will never come from above. It's only going to come from below. Only do it with people that are doing worse than you are, and they wish that they had the guts to do what you were doing. And secondly, if people are not calling your ideas crazy, or you don't feel uncomfortable telling people those ideas, the ideas are not big enough. The ideas are not innovative enough. It's not forward thinking enough. I almost would rather someone tell me every time my idea is crazy, because that means that it's so new that it hasn't even been conceptualized yet. And that's how you really, really go be worth a lot of money and you have phenomenal ideas, right? So you have to understand that you have to be different, and you have to, right? And you have to understand that. And it's a weird learning curve in the beginning, to be quite truthful with you guys. It's a weird thing to grasp, but it goes back to the idea I've told you guys about changing your mindset and restructuring the way you perceive things. It's super important. So with that being said, I'm packing up my gym bag now. I'm getting some stuff ready for the gym. I'm going to hit either some back or some chest today. I did back earlier in the week. Usually Mondays and Thursdays are chest for me, but I kind of switched it up a little bit. So I'm going to maybe do some back today. I did some shoulders yesterday, and I think I've been getting a hell of a shoulder workout from holding the camera with you guys like this. Yeah, so I'm going to get my stuff ready here, and I'll see you guys on the way to the gym. All right, guys, so I didn't show you the fit for the day, but I got this Dior jacket on. It's been one of my favorites this winter. And then I have the Louis Vuitton sandals. Almost fell over. Those, whatever you want to call them, the flops or whatever they are one of my favorites of all time. I don't know why, but I think they're super sick. They're honestly not the most comfortable thing ever, but I think they look pretty good. And they're when you're just standing, they're comfortable, but walking is kind of tough with them. But yeah, so that's the fit we've got for the day. So I'm almost at the gym, and something came to my head, and it's success in the greats and the hyper successful are not the ones that do the best per se. It's the ones that push through the most no's. If you really think about it, the biggest companies that exist are simply the ones that have been around for the longest, right? And like I say all the time, it's never perfect, and it's literally just the idea of being able to push through as many no's as you can. And that's really what it is. Like I said a bunch of times to you guys already, it's never perfect, and it honestly isn't going to be easy. And when it's not easy, you should actually be excited, because it not only is it a challenge and a way for you to show off your skill sets and everything, it's just also a great way to understand that let's see, hold on. I always park too far away. But not only are challenges and things exciting, it's also this reality too of you gotta understand that the harder it is, the more people aren't gonna do it, right? The harder it is, the tougher it is to do, the more the competition, the less the competition, the more people aren't gonna do it, right? So that should excite you, and know that if you can get through that, you can get through anything. And life is a momentum game. You gotta wake up and make your bed every day and all these things, because life is really a momentum game, and you gotta just find the momentum and stay in the momentum and strike while it's hot. When you're in momentum, you gotta keep on going until that momentum runs out. You have to stay on par, if that makes on track and stuff. And so it's about being able to just never let no decide what you're never let no decide your fate, decide what you're doing. So no doesn't matter. If you hear a no, so fucking what? It's like, literally think of it like this. I heard this really cool saying. It's like, if I told you that you're like 25 no's away from a yes, you would just be more excited to experience a no. Like, you say, okay, I just gotta get through 24 no's to hear that 25th, like on the 25th time I get a yes. And you just gotta keep on going. Like, you just have to literally keep on going, and there's just no other option. Like, you just have to keep on going, and that's why starting is so important. You just have to start, because when you start, you're that much closer now to achieving that yes, right? Like, that's why you just have to start. Like, you just literally have to go and start, and then the rest will come. You can't get lucky if you don't even put yourself out there, right? So you gotta just go and try and never take no for an answer. And you can never take no for an answer, you guys. You literally just can't. It's just how it goes. So with that being said, though, I just got to the gym, you guys. I'm going to head in here right now. One of my favorite things about this car is I gotta put the ticket out on this thing. Another example of the cars in here, all right, for the day. Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, Range Rover, G-Wagon. You guys, I say to you guys all the time, you guys got to go somewhere that inspires you. You guys got to go find ways to get in rooms with people that you want to be like. If you think you can't get in that room yet, go find a way to be outside the door, and then eventually it'll come in, right? You'll be the hardest worker, and it'll come eventually. I promise you that. If you just stay focused and stay consistent and stay dialed in, people notice that, and consistency goes a long way with people. And realistically, you guys, you have to understand too that networking, all that stuff is a lie. It's networking realistically just when people add value. It's just two people coming together who can add value. Networking doesn't happen in the club or anything like that. It's when you're going out at midnight. No networking is happening at midnight, right? You just have to take this understanding that you have to add value and work on yourself to the point where you can even go out and network. And no one's going to want to do business with someone who brings nothing to the table. You have to get to the point where first you can bring something to the table and add actual value, and then you can go out and network, whatever that is, right? And that's just realistically just two people come together who can actually both help each other, and the rest just works, right? And it happens naturally, because you get to a certain point where you just want to do business with people that you like and that are your friends, right? And so you have to really take advantage of that and understand that you have to be able to add value. But all right, guys, I just got to the gym here, and I will see you guys inside. All right, guys, so I just finished working out. I'm gonna get a smoothie right now. I'm gonna go back in and shower after I haven't eaten all day, and so I wanna get the smoothie first, and I'm gonna go in and shower. It's like 4 p.m. right now, so I'm gonna go finish this, and I'm gonna finish up some work later and then go eat, and we'll see what I get into for the rest of the day. All right, guys, so I think my smoothie's ready. I'm gonna go snag it. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. See ya. It's about to rain, but I'm gonna go over really quick the idea of meditation, okay, and like why. I was talking to a guy in the gym today, and it made me think of it, and I think it would benefit if I told you guys this as well. So the idea of meditation, you guys, it's to clear your mind. I know so many people that are like entrepreneurs that are so close to success. They're super close, but the only thing in their way is their mind. Like, they literally can't get out of their own head, and their mind is the only thing in the way. And it's not about thinking more positive thoughts, it's about thinking less negative thoughts, right? Those negative thoughts are blockers. Naturally, your ideas are positive. Naturally, the thoughts that are in your head are positive thoughts. These blockers, these limiting beliefs, these negative ideas, those are blockers that are blocking the universe from giving you exactly what it is that you want. You have to understand that it's about removing those blockers. Naturally, you're already meant to receive what you want to receive. You have to remove those blockers, and the meditations are able to free up your mind and literally think about nothing. You want to be able to focus on nothing. And when you focus on nothing, you're able to let go of those limiting beliefs, those old things that literally are just blockers into your life, right? And that's the real value of meditation. It quiets your mind. You have to be able to quiet your mind. I know so many people that are entrepreneurs that are so close to being good, but they cannot quiet their mind. Literally, their mind is literally the only thing that's holding them back is their mind and their lack of ability to focus, pay attention, be disciplined, etc. And so meditation really just removes those things and lets you focus on actually nothing. It's naturally, like I said, naturally your thoughts are already good. It's just about it's removing the negative thoughts is what it really is. And so that's why meditation is so important. Everything changes because it all starts from within, right? And if you want to become a better entrepreneur, you have to become a better person. A lot of people start on their entrepreneurial journey and then they come back and they say, fuck, I need to become a better person. But that's what you really have to do, is you have to become a better person first, and then everything else will become much easier, right? And so meditation lets you just block out all this extra noise that doesn't really matter whatsoever. And that's the real power of it, you guys, is being able to truly take a step back and get to let go of all this negative stuff that's just coming in your way and doesn't mean anything and isn't moving the needle for you. That's where meditation comes in. It quiets your mind, lets you focus on just literally just not having these negative thoughts, these negative beliefs, and that's where it comes from, right? It's obviously the manifestation stuff and all this stuff, but you're already manifesting. You already are manifesting. You just have to understand that most of the time what you're manifesting is bad because you have negative beliefs and you operate at a bad vibration. When you naturally vibrate high, you just have to get to that point and let go of more negative thoughts, right? So yeah, that's just some food for thought, you guys. Is doing that. And a big part of it too is accepting that good things happen. You have to believe that good things actually happen and your dreams come true and these things manifest. You have to actually believe those things. Like if you don't believe it's gonna happen, it's never gonna happen. Like you literally don't. And look, you guys, I got the $1 million smoothie. I was doing chocolate like I showed you guys for a long time, but I've moved on. I don't think I like the coffee either. The coffee is kind of making me feel jittery. I don't like it. It reminds me of why I didn't drink coffee for like half a year. Alright guys, I'm gonna finish up this and then we'll see you guys back inside and then we'll go get something to eat or something. Alright guys, so let's finish up at the gym here. Alright, we came back in to start showering. And you know how it goes, right? Another day, another cold shower. So about to hop in the shower here. Gonna do like my skincare stuff, whatever. And then going to go meet with David. As you guys know David, I'm gonna meet with him. He's asking for some advice on stuff. I think I told you guys about that earlier in the video. Gonna meet with him for a little bit. Shouldn't be long. Gonna go home and finalize that script for you guys, okay? Gonna get that fully done tonight. I'm putting a deadline on it tonight, and then that'll be up. And then yeah, gonna probably get some food myself, and then we'll figure it out for the rest of it. I'll see you guys after. I just left the gym and look who I am here with. Can you guys believe it? After our In-N-Out adventure, I thought I'd never speak to him again.
The king of balls.
I think David's goal is to truly get me to never get to be monetized on
I have
YouTube
two sets
ever.
of balls on my keychain actually.
He just got this Range Rover. David is a phenomenal car enthusiast, and check this out.
I don't like to carry a lot of shit.
What do you mean?
Well, with the DJ and
The GTI, whatever.
The phone you have always on you.
I know. The Range Rover's nice. It reminds me of my old one. But all right, we're going to talk for a second, then I'll get right back to you guys. All right, guys, so we just got to Erewhon, and the line is beyond long. What are you going to get?
I need something sweet because, you know, few minutes with you and already my life became very bitter.
The line is way too long, and my phone's about to die, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record.
Well,
but
the line is not longer than the brown line on your pants, on your underwear. Make sure your editor puts it in there. Huge 10-inch stain.
I cannot go with this guy in public, you guys. All right, guys, I'll let you know what I get if my phone stays alive here. We just got our food, and look the combo we have here. I got the usual, the steak, and then...
Come on, what you got is a gift.
What did you get me?
Try it. Tell me if you know what it is.
Oh, no.
Let me try this.
My phone's it might die, you guys. Hot chocolate? What is it?
Delicioso.
Chai latte. Looks like I'm not sleeping, you guys.
There's no caffeine in this. Chai.
Like chai tea. Well, thank you so much, sir.
What wouldn't I do for a bitch like you?
David, stop. You guys, David's goal is to literally get me never to make money, monetize me on YouTube ever. The number one thing, and like I said, I think it's just from the perspective of like, let's say they want to, they go about size of warehouse and things like that. It's just literally framing it in the positive light of, hey, we are super picky about who we want to grow with and who we want to take on. And, given and I think we really leverage Los Angeles. Like we really say, hey, given our extensive experience and we have all this data of companies that we've worked with in Los Angeles that are 3PL in LA. And so then from there, we're able to really understand like, hey, moving forward in this, where we scale out of just California, we really want to be able to be more hands-on with a few select brands that we align with. And culturally, we, and even playing into like, hey, we take a ton of pride in being eco-friendly and take a ton of pride in making sure that it's an intimate relationship. This is a relationship, not just a date. And we want this to be a very long-term thing. And so that with that being said, once we do find the right people, we're open and willing and ready to grow, and even saying like, hey, we've done that in Los Angeles. We've proven the track record in Los Angeles, and it's just about finding who we want to grow with.
Right.
Service-based businesses like the 3PLs like this, the reality is as you've seen, it's a very intimate relationship. There has to be rapport built, and it's not just a 1 or 2 time interaction thing. The sales cycle is a little bit longer, especially a brand like this. And so it's really about building rapport. And I think coming out and openly saying, hey, look, you guys, this is not a sales call. This is just for us to figure out if we do align and we can't even help you guys.
Yeah, just keep that in mind. And, I think they're pretty keen to take a look at local places. And I'm only about 15 minutes away from where they station themselves.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of, just to get it out of them, I'm going to put it like, hey, I know you've given Zach a pretty good rundown, and him and I have spoken a few times. We've gone looking over everything. Just kind of give me a high level view of where you guys are at so I can hear from your guys' mouth and kind of understand better. we make the intro, we talk a little bit, take control of the conversation, then it's like right into like, are you guys currently using a 3, Zach mentioned that you guys are currently using a 3PL. How is that going? Oh, really? Okay, and why is the order accuracy an issue? Where are you guys at with that? Okay, I totally understand. And what I'm gonna do is when they say it's 97%, I'm gonna say, wow, 97, really? And I'm gonna really play into that a little bit and let them say, yeah, it's terrible, whatever, and be super casual. And so yeah, and
I think we should both audibly gasp at the same time.
Exactly, right? And say, oh my God. But yeah, so good. Okay, so we're on that. We're aligned there. And just to go over the framing of the agenda of the call one more time, just so we have it. I think it's important that we're on the same page. So it'll be, hey guys, make the intro, whatever, and I'm just gonna say, hey guys, I just want you guys to know that we're super transparent here. This is not a sales call. This is just more of a see if we even can help and if we are a good fit. And if we are, the goal at the end of this call is to just have you guys come in and check out the warehouse. Does that sound good? Does that sound fair? And then it's like, yes, okay, great, okay, yeah, great. So Zach told me a little bit about you guys, kind of just, you guys are already currently using 3PL, etc. Tell me about your experience with them. It's been good. I don't like the whatever. I was like, oh, wow, that 97% accuracy, that's, all right, I get it. I totally get why you guys want to change, and then go flow from there. And then by the end of the questioning, the end of the line of the question, let them go ask the discovery questions. Then by the end of it, basically just say to them, like, okay, guys, from a success standpoint and a result standpoint, we absolutely can help. We totally believe we can help. With that being said, though, we do want to make sure that we align from a culture fit. And so the next steps would definitely be you guys come in, check out the warehouse, and we can hop on another call and see how it goes from there. Does that sound good? And be done.
Right. I don't know. Well, let's chat real quick before we hop on a call tomorrow, and should be easy.
Cool. Sounds good.
I'll
talk to you soon. See ya. All right, guys. So it's about 8 p.m. right now. I was with David for a while. He needed some advice on some stuff. Like, David has a rather successful YouTube channel as well, and he's been a good friend of mine for a while. And he's dealing with, like, he let a guy who's was supposedly a friend of his not borrow some money, but kind of invested in his stock trading portfolio, and the guy has lost almost half 6 figures kind of thing, a good amount of money. And so he asked for some of my advice on like what to do and how to handle it from a legality standpoint and like a personal standpoint as well. So kind of was helping him guide through that as well. And David is like a dear friend of mine, even though he's an idiot, quite truthfully, but he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. And so we were talking for a while. My phone died, so I couldn't record much of it for you guys. But I just got off the phone with the guy that I've mentored and done a lot of consulting for his 3PL in Florida. As you guys know, I helped him build and scale that over, I want to say the last year and a half or so. And so he asked if I would come on a discovery call for him. So earlier in this clip, you guys kind of saw how I'm mapping out the discovery call. And as you guys know, for a business like a 3PL, like a logistics company, it's a little bit more of an intimate relationship. It's not, the sales cycle is similar to like a bigger enterprise SaaS software, meaning like it's not just you get on the call, you close, And so in this context, I'm kind of, he trusts my sales experience and he knows my ability to sell very well. And so in this context, it's going to only be, hey, more of an if call. And in the free script I've given you guys can see in there as well. It's like, this is a discovery if call. So I'm basically gonna start the call like this. Hey guys, the quick intro, whatever, where you guys located. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Whatever. So that being said, I want to preface you guys super quickly the fact that this is not a sales call. This is more of an if call. It's kind of if we can help and if we are a good fit for each other. And by the end of this call, if we are a good fit, the goal is to just have you guys come in the warehouse and tour it, et cetera, yada, yada. How does that sound fair? And I'll even walk it through it. I'll go. So it's like, hey, Zach, his name is Zach, the guy I mentor. So Zach's gonna say, hey guys, this is Billy, whatever. I'm gonna say, hi guys, where are you guys calling from? It's very nice to meet you. Oh, we're from Missouri. Okay, that's great, yada, yada. With that being said, you guys, we've been super busy today. We might just hop right into the call. Okay, great. Or even say something like this. I'd probably say something like this. It's like, hey guys, we only have a super quick, like 15, 20 minutes. It'd be cool if we jump right in. Like, oh yeah, sure, Billy. Okay, so with that being said, guys, just want to let you know and start off with preface with, this is not a sales call. This is more of an if call and be able to decide if we can help and if we are a good fit for each other from not only a results standpoint, but a culture standpoint. We do take a tremendous amount of pride in everyone that we work with. And so we want to make sure we're aligned in both ways. So with that being said, the goal by the end of this call is just to have you guys, if we are a good fit, have you guys come into the warehouse and check it out. And then we can go over how we can help after that. Does that sound fair? Does that sound good? Any of that kind of stuff. Then we're going to go right into it. And then I'm going to say something to the effect of like, guys, Zach gave me a pretty decent overview of what you guys have already spoken about. With that being said, I always love hearing from the horse's mouth itself. So it's kind of giving me a higher level overview of what you guys have going on, who you guys are as a company. They'll go into that and I'll say, okay, are you guys currently working with a 3PL right now? They're going to say yes because they are. Or I'll even say something like, Zach mentioned you guys are currently working with a 3PL. How is that going? I'm going to say, oh, well, it's not going that well. Okay, why is it not going well? What's going on? And so, the order accuracy and the communication, it's like, okay, so I'm going to say, okay, sounds good. So is that something that you guys are looking to change and you want to see in your next 3PL? Yes, that's something we want to change. Okay, sounds good. So what is the order accuracy with your current place? And they're going to say like something like 96 or 97% they told Zach. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to noticeably say, oh, wow, like 97, wow, all right, I get it. That's kind of a lot, wow, all right. So then go and continue to do little hints like that, and go after things like that and really push that to like kind of push them to know that, hey, they need to make a change and there are differences that can be made and how we can help. And then at the end of the call, after all these questions, what I am going to do is that I'm going to say, okay, guys, from a result standpoint, I think we absolutely can help. We definitely can improve in those three spaces and then your order accuracy, communication, etc. With that being said, though, we do want to make sure we align from a culture perspective. We take a ton of pride in everyone that we work with, and we do have a pretty intimate connection with all of our clients. This is more of a relationship than it is a date. So with that being said, we do think the next step would be you guys coming and checking the warehouse, making sure we align from a culture perspective. And if that goes well, we'll go over how we can help in some more details on that. Does that sound good? Okay, great. So we're not open this week, but next week we're open. We're available for you guys to come in from Monday or Tuesday. How does either one of those sound? Tuesday sounds good. Okay, are you better in the morning or afternoon? Okay, whatever, right? And you phrase it like that, right? And you have to add some scarcity. Don't just say, hey, come tomorrow. You have to have some emphasis there, if you will, some scarcity. And so, yeah, that's pretty much how I handle those calls. And it's this idea of like, there's no pressure on these kind of calls because it's just, you're literally figuring out if you can help. There's literally no pressure. Just ask questions, be in control of the conversation, and you're good. So like I said, it's like 8 right now. I'm deciding if I want to eat again. We ate at Erewhon, so I don't know if I want to eat again, but I've only eaten one time today, so we'll see. And then, so I'm going to finish up this script for you guys. I promise it will be done by tonight. And then I will see you guys in a little bit, okay?
All right, guys, what's going on? So it's like almost 10:30 right now. I've been working and just staring at the screen for like the last 3 hours or so. And kind of like when I tell you guys, like, discipline and focus is a skill. I think oftentimes a lot of people think that you can just go get right into focusing for a long period of time right away. I think very few people can do that. You have to develop the skill of being able to focus and turn off distractions. And eventually over time, you become better and better at being able to focus for longer periods of time. And you kind of get in that flow state. But long story short, so the script is pretty much done, you guys. So I came in here. I'm just kind of making some last like organizational revisions here. And so there's 23 pages, you guys. So it's broken down into 3 different categories. It's broken down into, for growth operators, I'm doing 4 different categories. I'm gonna make the edits to the last ones now. But there's growth operators, there's fitness coaches, there's agencies, and then there's gonna be like just online closers like sales. Like you're selling an info product, you're like a remote closer. Yeah, I have like 4 sections in here for you guys. I've been working tirelessly on this, you guys, to give you guys the absolute best possible solution here. I want this to be this phenomenal one-stop shop, and might be a little bit, not jumbled, but like as you guys can see, there's like a lot kind of going on. I made some adjustments. I made this font a little bit smaller so you can see, but like, send the frame, blah, 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 blah. It's if, a lot of ifs, right? Like if you reached out to them, right, do this. But if they booked the call, do this. If you reached out to them, like kind of cold approach this. Like when I just showed you guys, is you don't have to ask all of these questions on here. I'm going to do a YouTube video as well going over this. You don't have to ask all these questions, if that makes sense. It's kind of figuring out over time what is the right one. Obviously you want to go through every part, but in some of these parts, there's like for this, like there's all these questions in here. You don't have to ask every single one. So these are just examples of what you can, like some digging questions, some probing questions of like what to ask and things like that. So it's trial and error, kind of figuring out which script you guys really want to go with in terms of which steps. And another thing that I want you guys to know too is like at the end, right? So a lot of people I think get confused within the beginning and at the end, right? Like the transitioning into other aspects of the call, and then also like how do you start the call, take control, then at the end of the call, how do you transition to the pitch? What do you do? Signing up, whatever, yada, yada. And so one thing I like doing at the end of every call when I close somebody is I have them sell it back to me. Okay. So one thing I'll take a step back. One thing I do is I don't ever get off the call. If they agree, I don't just say, okay, invoice is in your, the agreement and everything else is in your email. Get that over back to me when you can. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. I don't ever do that. I say, okay, this is the guy's name is Brian. I say, okay, Brian, we're super excited to be working with you. In order for us to start getting you on that journey right away, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the agreement. It should be in your email right now. And then once you execute that and I stay on the phone with you, I'll have my team be able to onboard you and reach out to you within 30 minutes so we can get you started right away. And so then it's basically saying, I'm going to walk you through on the phone, and there's not going to be any oh, I didn't get a chance to fill out the invoice, yada, yada. Like, you walk them through it right away, and you want them to pay on that call. Like, you need them to pay on that call. If they agree and you close them, you want to pay on the call, right? So I had them sell it back to me as well to eliminate any like chargebacks right away or any like refunds right away. So what I'll do is something along the lines of so let's say his name's Brian. I'll say, all right, Brian, what's going on, man? Tell me how you're feeling right now. And I'll say, oh, I'm nervous. I've never spent this much money, whatever. I'd say, that's awesome, man. I'd be honestly a little bit worried if you weren't nervous right now. But you know what's awesome about that? Oh, what's that, Billy? Is that every single person I've had succeed has said the same exact thing. And we're super excited for you to get the results, and we can't wait to see you take action. With that being said, my team's going to reach out within 30 minutes or so, and we're going to get you onboarded right away. All right, man, take care, all right? And you're done, and then your onboarding process starts, etc. But the reason why you sell them back is because it's to almost validate how they feel and then sell it back to themselves of why they wanted to start, why they did that, and to calm the nerves a little bit and walk them through that again. And once they say it out loud, it kind of doesn't have that much control over them, and you walk them through that emotion so they don't feel that emotion when they hang up the call. They feel more at ease. That's kind of just it. I'm still making some last final adjustments, and it will be live super quickly here, but super soon. But I'm super excited for you guys to see it. I've spent a lot of time on it, like I've said. And another thing really quick, you guys, I want to show you is that some things to keep in mind that I'm going to make another video on as well, but I put it in here as well. So some pre-call reminders, pre-call rituals, and this is the biggest thing. These are 7 main points. These are the 7 unspoken rules of sales that I think after my years in closing millions of dollars of deals, I think this is a humongous thing, and this is 7 unspoken things that really take away. And so here they are, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So I'll say a few of them on here. 1, a sale is never made from a logical decision. You need to get people in the emotional state and buying from emotion. That's what it is. And people buy from people that they like, that they trust, and they want to just be in a buying mood. People want to spend. And so that's a number 1 thing. 2, it's not about persuading. It's really about removing resistance. Going back to the mental spirituality side of things, is that it's really about removing more negative thoughts than it is about adding more positive ones in there. It's you want to not really persuade. You don't need to persuade people. You just simply need to remove as much resistance as possible, and you'll see how much simpler things go. And you're closing at every stage of the process, so you're soft closing, etc. And you're always thinking about closing and how everything's going to tie back into the close, as well as you're creating urgency without creating pressure. You want to create organic urgency without pressuring people. And you have to understand that everyone has a different way of communicating with you and with each other, etc. And everyone has to be catered to a little bit differently. So you have to become really good at reading and assessing people and be able to dissect how you need to go about speaking to each different person. So just some things to keep in mind, you guys. Well, I'm going to make a video on that for you guys, but some things I want you guys to keep in mind and going over when you are reading this, etc. So with that being said, you guys, I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up and I'll talk to you soon. What's up, guys? It's 2:30 a.m. right now, as you can see here. I'm just finishing up this script for you guys. I wanted to make it absolutely perfect, and I think maybe with the coffee too, that has me staying up late. I'm just super dialed in. I'm super focused still, but I'm going to go to bed here soon. So for tomorrow, I have that discovery call that I'm going to bring you guys along for the 3PL out in Florida. I'm going to take care of that. I want to bring you guys along for that. I am doing some Zapier stuff. So whenever you guys, I launched the free sales script, and so whenever you guys sign up for it, it'll send it to your email right away. So I use Zapier to do that, as you can see right here, Zapier right in there. So yeah, I do that as well. And I'm watching, I'm working on my couch, and I'm I don't go on my couch that much. Sometimes I do, because I have this weird thing where sometimes when I'm super dialed in, I don't like sleeping in my bed. I'll sleep on my couch so I can just wake up and go right in my routine and start working again. It's almost like I sleep. If I sleep in my bed, I don't do that. But long story short, I'm on my couch right now working, and I'm watching this O.J. Simpson documentary, and it's pretty crazy, dude. And it's kind of nuts. The one on Netflix. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna go to bed here in a second, and so with that being said, you guys, I'm gonna wrap the vlog up here. I appreciate you guys so much. The free sales script is live. You guys can go get that in the bio now officially. It's in the bio of all my previous videos as well. It's a super comprehensive idea of basically totally free, totally yours sales script for
if you're a coach, high ticket closer, agency, service-based business, anything along those lines, it's for you. Basically gonna, I've closed millions and multiple millions of dollars, multiple seven figures of deals and sales with that script. And that script has like changed my life. And I pretty much put a ton in there for you guys. And so I want it to be just something that either whether you want to improve your sales in your script or if you want to just start from scratch and you're just getting into sales, either way, I want to really help you guys be able to do that. And that's a phenomenal way to start and getting you guys okay, like, and comfortable with scripts and things like that. Sales really changed my life, you guys, from a confidence perspective, from an entrepreneurship perspective, just a life perspective in general. Sales really has changed my life, and I wanted to do the same for you guys. And I just want to thank you, everyone that's been tuning in, and the channel's been growing. We've been growing so fast, and it's like barely been 2 weeks and we've been growing so fast. It all means like actually the world to me. It seriously does. And I just love doing this. I'm so passionate about this. And like I always tell you guys, even if it was just one person I'm impacting, it like just means the world to me. And so I'm so grateful for that. And stay confident, you guys. Stay grateful, stay focused, stay persistent, stay humble, stay humility. Be a good person, all right? Raise your standard, raise your operating standard. And remember, be a good person, you guys. Become a better person. If you want a better life, a better income, if you want better spouse, all those things, become a better person, right? If you want an above average life, you have to be an above average person, right? And it all starts from within. What you feel on the inside is what you see on the outside, right? Be grateful, stay confident, stay persistent, and believe you're worthy of it, all right? Even if you're not, believe it, all right? And develop habits. Remember, you guys, you decide your habits and your habits decide your future. Have good habits, all right? All right, guys, with that being said, good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
I ain't seen the sun in 7 days like I've been doing time. That's just how I got the back, built up when I'm on it.